It's my immense pleasure to welcome every one of you to this open public viva voce of my PhD research scholar of Bharatiyar University. Now I am happy to introduce the examiners of this PhD public viva voce, the university nominee and the external examiner to this August forum. Bharatiyar University nominee is Dr. E. Chandra, Professor and Head of the Department of Computer Science, Bharatiyar University, Coimbatore. Her area of research interest is neural networks, speech processing, and machine learning techniques. Madam has published around 80 papers, and one of her research papers is awarded the best short paper in 2012. Madam has produced 15 PhD scholars so far. Madam has received sponsors for her two major projects. One is completed and the other one is ongoing project. Madam is a vibrant, active person of all the activities of CSI chapter, Coimbatore. And I am more delighted to introduce that Madam is a recipient of Best Active Women Participation Award in the year 2011. And Madam is an outstanding person in the event Who is Who in the World 2014. Madam, I am honored to welcome you, ma'am.
Thank you, madam.
And the external examiner is Dr. P. Beulah Soundaraboy, Associate Professor from the Department of Computer Science, Christ University, Bangalore. Madam is a self-motivated and energetic person having more than 20 years of teaching experience. Madam has published a number of research papers in national and international journals. Madam has also attended and organized many workshops and seminars. Madam has produced 4 PhD research scholars so far and holding various memberships in several academic bodies. She has delivered several lectures on Bargianic technologies in many colleges. Further, I am proud to introduce that Madam is an author of 2 textbooks. One is Connected Environments for the Internet of Things, Challenges and Solutions. And the other book is on Fog Computing, Concepts, Principles and Related Paradigms. Madam is a peer reviewer of Journal of Information Security and Applications, for which the publisher is Elsewhere. Madam, I am elated to welcome you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
So we have such a great women personalities as the external examiners for this public viva. And it's my prime duty to welcome my beloved principals who have graced this meeting through online mode. Dr. T. Sendanil Selvi ma'am, Raja Sarfoji Government College, Tanjavur, my parent institution. And Dr. K. Gunasegaran sir, Government Arts and Science College, Kuttalam, Mayiladurai, which is my deputed workplace by the Tamil Nadu government. I heartily welcome Dr. K. Mohan Kumasa, the head of the Department of Computer Science, the heads of other departments, my fellow colleagues, faculty members of teaching and non-teaching, Raja Sarfoji Government College, Tanjavur, as well as Government Arts and Science College, Kuttalam, and learned professors, faculty members from IT industries, faculty members from other colleges, my dear friends. I do welcome the pillars of the society, the research scholars, the PG and UG students, for whom this forum will be a spark to their research interest. Now I take this moment to introduce my PhD candidate and her research work. A. Arun Jnanaraj is a part-time PhD candidate of Bharatiyar University from January 2014. The candidate received MCA from Bharatidasan University and MBA Operations from Indira Gandhi Open University. The research scholar is currently working in Dubai as a project manager and solution architect. He is a certified Microsoft technology specialist. He has deployed various distributed applications in cloud. He has delivered several lectures in the area of cloud and IoT. Apart from his research, the candidate has published more than 10 papers in the peer-reviewed national and international journals and conferences. His research covers the booming technologies, cloud computing, IoTs, and machine learning. Using these technologies, the candidate has developed a model for poultry health identification, which helps to identify the sick ones quickly. The scholar is motivated by the growth and instant response of machine learning and lifestyle. And so he has worked on this poultry in real time at Dindukal during the stages of his research, that is, during data collection, implementation, and testing. His research of literature study covers more than 100 references, and the related work papers are about 29 references. He has identified the research gap in sick identification using machine learning in poultry industry. Then the candidate has progressed his research work by narrow downing from machine learning to feature extraction using sound and image for poultry disease identification. For the data storage and the communication, he used cloud computing and IoTs. He has worked in MATLAB to prove the efficiency of his proposed research work. The candidate has completed his research work in 2019 and submitted the thesis. His thesis has been submitted in 2020. Related to his PhD research works, the candidate has published 7 papers in well-reputed research forum, and of these 7 papers, 2 are published as book chapters in Scopus Indexed Springer series. 2 are presented in the international conferences and they are published in IEEE Explore. 1 is published in Scopus Indexed Journal and 2 are published in UGC Journal. This research work papers have 5 citations so far. Adding feathers to his research work, I wish to state at this moment that looking into his proposed research paper from IEEE Explore, 2 industries from Singapore, that is AG Solution Technology and Nexmo Mobile, have come forward to have a MOU. With all these credentials, I wish the candidate to successfully present his thesis and defend his work with the queries raised by the participants. Once again, I extend my warm welcome to you all. Thank you. And now I wish to invite the external examiner to conduct a public viva voce examination as per the rules and regulations of Bharathiar University.
Thank you, ma'am. Good afternoon, everyone, and greetings from the Department of Computer Science, Christ University, Bangalore. And I'm very much happy to connect with you all, and it is my privilege to conduct this particular exam. And warm welcome to the university nominee, the guide, and the all the research scholars who are here, and all the eminent personalities who are witnessing this particular viva voce examination. So my best wishes to Mr. Arun Jnanaraj also. And now over to Arun Jnanaraj sir for his presentation.
Thank you, ma'am. First of all, I want to extend to my welcome to all of you who is here with me today. And my grateful thanks to my research supervisor, Dr. J. Jnana Jayanti, and university nominee, Dr. E. Chandra, and external examiner, Dr. P. Beulah ma'am. My research topic is IoT-enabled machine learning classification for poultry health identification.
Sir, sorry to disturb you. If you don't mind, can you start the recording? We have forgotten.
Yeah, Roja ma'am, have you started the recording?
Yes, sir. On it is already in record.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Right.
Yes, ma'am. Thanks for reminding this, ma'am. My IoT research topic is IoT-enabled machine learning classification for poultry health identification. The idea behind this started from our lifestyle. Just imagine that nowadays we are consuming a lot of white meat, which is grown in farms. That farm is making the chicken or poultry fed with a lot of antibacterial elements along with a lot of growth organs. Okay, first of all, why we have given that antibacterial matters and insulin, everything to the chicken is because of we want to prevent that they will get disease. Okay, because once when they got a disease, it will be easily spreadable among the hen. So the idea behind this, in order to prevent that, we are feeding them with a lot of artificial medicines which will cover them to not get affected. But because of that, we are fed with the growth hormone and antibacterial medicines that once when we started to consume it, we are also getting affected. But as it is not much visible, okay, nowadays that The research has been slowly revealed out. Because of that, we are taking, the lot of white meats. We have obesity, we have early puberty problem. All those things started to reveal it out. Even doctors have started to advise that, like, please reduce your, intake of chicken, this is because of we are growing them with artificial medicines. If you really need to avoid that, the problem is we need to monitor them very closely. Ideally, with the labor, it is not possible to monitor them very closely. So we plan to come up with an idea to monitor the chicken very closely, poultry very closely, in order to identify that they are getting sick or not. As soon as when they get sick, if we are able to identify, then we can take them to isolation. Then the chain will be broken. Then we can take in care of them in a separate way. That is the core idea. So the presentation outline is introduction, review of literature studies, proposed model, design methodology, experimental results, performance study, conclusion, publications, references. When it comes the research, it is span across three major industry: IoT, artificial intelligence, a subset like machine learning, and cloud technologies. So Internet of Things, now all of us have a basic idea of what is Internet of Things. It's nothing but you have a sensors, you are collecting data, the data is traveling to the hub, and then you have actuators which can act behalf of that. Like, okay, there is a LED, there is a motor, there is a sprinkling, all those things can act. So for example, typical application for IoT is smart home, smart city, smart traffic, smart farms, all those things, it's based on the IoT. Recently, there is a subset of IoT is called industrial IoT, which is targeting a particular industry. For example, manufacturing industry, logistics industry, healthcare industries. They are targeting a particular industry and then evolving, taking the IoT with the cloud computing, and then they are taking a different branches. When it comes to IoT or this cloud technology, we need to think about the protocols has been used, okay, and the technology which is behind it. For example, IPv6, where supports more number of devices, cloud computing, RFID, which is used for tracking, 6LoWPAN and the nano technologies, wireless sensors. All those things is very important when it comes these kind of studies. When it comes IoT protocol, which is supposed to be very lightweight to take the communication. For example, MQTT, SOAP, REST, AQ, AMQP, WSDL, and UNP, 0MQ, CoAP are all the different protocols which is available for IoT. And then we need to study the different diseases and what are the common symptoms of the poultry. For example, contagious avian influenza, infectious fowlpox, infectious Crohn's-Shaw are all the common diseases among the poultry. When it comes symptoms, okay, once when they get affected, what are the different symptoms will come around? Sneezing, coughing, rales. Rales is nothing but like, there is abnormal breathing sound which is coming from the hen or chicken, and shaking head, nostril discharging, gasping, discharge from eyes, face swelling, or all paralysis, or all the different common symptoms when they got affected. So our idea is to understand these diseases and common symptoms, okay, and then try to identify from the normal to this one how to take it out. So we took a sound as one more analysis and images one more analysis to find the difference. For example, when it comes to imaging for poultry, a lot of times they are using to tracking the poultry, like, using where they are moving exactly there, or once when they cut the poultry, they are taking into scanners and try to identify if it has any skin cancer so that they can throw it away before packaging. Those kind of things is already there in industry. And RFID, they are using like tracking, like for example, one place to another place, if they are taking the chicken, they are tracking it. At the same way, like in the cage, they can able to track, or they can pin it, like in the cattle farm and all, they are using small RFID, they pin into the cow or goat itself, and they're able to track where they are there in the field. And audio signal processing, again, MFCC, ZCR, and mean audio extraction process has been applied, and they were taking it and then able to identify that what sort of sound which is coming. Okay, for example, band or human voice, male voice, female voice, all those things can be identified using the audio signal. So we have been gone through all those things and trying to identify how it can help to identify whether the sick or not. So the research motivation factor, first of all, we need to avoid taking the white meat which is fed with growth hormone and antibody materials. The second one, the disease needs to be identified quickly as possible. poultry needs to monitor continuously. If we have able to do that with automation system, then the labor cost will be reduced, which in turn will improve a lot of quality. So the research aim is to identify the poultry using machine learning, using the image analysis and sound analysis. So the objective of this is to design the future extraction technique that could be used to extract the future from the audio signal as well as the image, means basically a video, and to design and develop a machine learning algorithm that could identify the infected poultry from the extracted audio features. And then the same technique, the same way to identify the image analysis to find whether it's sick or not. And to train the machine learning algorithm for the optimization, like, what are the different parameters available, how to analyze to make it very, efficient, and analyze the performance of the machine learning and the feature extraction techniques. We have done an extensive review of literature across many areas, and the major 4 focus has been done on sound and what all the different diseases can be identified and what is the symptoms of that, and feature extraction using image, okay, like, how, what all the things which we can read through the images or video camera slides, and then what are the different application has been there in the poultry industry. And these are the major 4 pairs that we took it. One is to identify how the audio signal can be classified into multi-level. The second one is how we can track poultry inside the system, means inside the cage or wherever. The third one is how to classify the signal, whether it has for disease detection. And fourth one is how IoT used in the adaptive manufacturing systems. The first base paper is the audio classification Arduino kit. That again that is the level 1. And the second level, you have a local processing server that could be a small machine, a laptop or anything, or you can directly put it in the Raspberry kit also to identify and process. Okay, then that level forward the message back to the cloud. So now with the level 1, level 2 itself, it's more than enough to autonomically run any small farm. If they want to really connect to the cloud, then they can connect. Otherwise, these 2 is enough. So ideally here we are able to tell that, okay, this is fit for the small scale. If they want to communicate this is the large scale, yes, through APIs, they can communicate with the large scale. The 4th layer is the end user, where anywhere from the well, if it is connected to the cloud, they can able to access their data. So this is the overview. We have poultry, and we have sensors like microphone sensor, RGB sensor, IR and distance sensor, gas detector sensor. It is connected to the Arduino, and from there is a real-time poultry disease system which will be able to identify whether it is a sick or not. And the functional components are, if you have Arduino, then you should have functional component: audio signal, video signal, distance processing, thermal signal processing, and gas level processing, all are separate modules. After that, once you collect the data, then when it comes to the main system, there you need to do a sound analysis, video analysis, ensure the environmental analysis to ensure that yes, it is a healthy chicken and it is success or not, means it is sick or not. And this is the flow which we have done, like, a simple flow, very high level flow, like, you have audio data, normalize the data, analyze the data, and tell whether it is sick or not. The same way, other side, you have image data, which is compromise of RGB as well as thermal. Take the data, normalize and analyze, then try whether it is a sick or not, and tell it is which position it is. Basically, image analysis, we are doing like movement analysis. When the chicken is able to move, like, within hour, in general, averagely, it will move like, just imagine 10 meter in our study. If it is not moving like the last couple of 2 hour, 3 hour within that, then it means it has a problem. Likewise, we are able to identify it. And we have done a field visit many times, almost like we have been staying 30 days there to collect all the data. Santi Panay Dindigal is one of the very good person. He helped a lot to us because we are from the different industries. So when we approach him, he is able to explain very clearly from the ground reality, what is poultry, how the disease are spread, what are the different disease will come, what is the daily routine they are doing with that, how the feed, like, how they are feeding, how they will get different kind of feed and different kind of medicine, how they are mixing and providing, and the sleeping pattern and the moving pattern and the disease pattern, all those things has been explained by him, that he gave a wonderful idea. So then only we have come up, we are a good confident that how we can implement this, and then we have gone and then implemented there and we tested. So these are all my research contributions. Arduino kit for data collection. See, because when we start this research, we couldn't able to find any proper source there we got the data. So ideally we are moved into that collect the data. So in order to collect the data, we supposed to prepare the kit. So we have first prepared the kit and then we collected the data. Then we need to do analysis, image analysis and sound analysis. So we have done both in order to understand that whether it is sick or not through image, the same way sound, and then we combine. Okay, now with the combined result, we can tell whether it's a sick or not. And once then we took audio analysis, and then we are trying to optimize it, like in the audio sound feature extraction there is a multiple, which one can be which feature extraction technique can be used. The same way algorithm, which algorithm can be used, because there is so many algorithms for classification. And finally we selected that, and then we tried to optimize the parameter using hyperparameter optimization. So the first contribution is like a Arduino kit. So this is the circuit diagram. Here you can see we have that temperature sensor, gas detector, ultrasonic rangefinder, RGB camera, infrared and microphone, all is attached with Arduino, which is compatible. Arduino itself is compatible with all those devices. So we are able to read the data from that, and then we stored it a small SD card. Then this is the Arduino semantic diagram. Using this diagram, if anyone want to create a PCB board, they can create it. See, the entire idea is to make this project into a live scenario, which can help the farmers, okay, the guys who is using the poultry farms. So this is the PCB diagram where has been created by Eagle, which we can take it into create the PCB boards. From there you can directly solve the defined devices and then use it. And then this is the sensor list which we have used in this study, like as I told you that the RH T03 MQ gas sensor, LV max sonar for the distance, and then RGB which has 728 into 488 pixel, and far infrared thermal array sensor which is class 8x8 pixel, microphone which is BOQ 12758. And this is the POC which we have done, a diagram which after when we connect and then we test. Okay, this is how it looks like. And before going into implementation, we have done one more small study to ensure that the Arduino, how far we need to put it, like can we put it in 1 feet or 2 feet, 3 feet or 5 feet, which, so we employed it in 2 meter. And because each and every sensor has its own view angle, without, you cannot go beyond the view angle. So we need to find the optimum angle which we can track, okay, the audio, video, as well as the RGB camera, thermal camera. Basically the RGB and thermal camera has to be aligned between them. In this, the thermal camera has a view angle of 35.6 degree, and the RGB camera has a view angle of 70 degree because it's a wide angle camera. With that, when you have a formula of adjacent equal to opposite by tan theta, we have applied the formula, and then we got like 1.7 meter squared for the thermal camera and 7.7 meter squared for the RGB camera. So from that we can conclude that 1.7 meter squared can be tracked when you employ into 2 meter height. So the output of this one is, you have the sensors and you have the Arduino kit. You capture the data. So you have audio files, you have image files, and you have signals. We have stored the signals into JSON format, and we have a proper file system employed to accommodate all the data. This is a sample. We have this storage structure, first year, and then year month, and then year month date, then hourly basis. You can see here 2018 is a year, 02 is a day, 02 is a month, 16 is a hour, and 16 is a day, 21 is a hour. And each and every data, we have 3 different data per minute. Each and every data is per minute basis. So we have one MP3 file which is from sound. We have one MP4 from RGB, as well as we have one JSON file which contains all other sensors data. So this is the schema for the JSON data. And this is the sample data which is there. You can see that the JSON data is very plain text, which is easily understandable by human as well as any third-party system, because now it become into the my file server. So from that, maybe if I want to push cloud, or from that any analytics has to be done, or I want to push the same into NoSQL DB, with this format it is quite easy and adaptable. And our next one, see, because right now we prepared a kit and then we have data. Now we are moving into the image analysis. So this is the process. We just took I just took 2 different consecutive images. One is every 1 minute, and I convert that into grayscale. Once when I convert into grayscale, then I found the difference between the images. Once when I found the different, then the denoise happened. Once denoise, then the binary image has been constructed. From that binary image, we can find two clusters. That cluster we can identify that what is the position between these two images. So the overall idea, converting grayscale, image difference, denoising, binary, K-mean clustering, and then distance of movement, correlation of RGB camera with the sensor thermal camera, and then if the three consecutive movement is smaller than the required distance movement, then there is a sick. The same way, if the temperature is not between the range, again it is sick. That is how the image analysis has been done. So first, converting grayscale, we have been used to the luminance instruction, means luminance weighted average. So we took 0.2 R plus 0.5 G and 0.1 B, basically RGB, and we convert that into grayscale. And in order to find the image difference, we took the two pixels, RJ, the GI, GJ, and then BI, BJ, and divided by 3. Now you have the difference. If that difference is more than 10 pixel, then we need to go and identify the pixel which is from the respective images. It's a bit complex, but still it came like, I of I will become the right pixel and 0 otherwise. So in this case, you can able to construct the difference. And then I need to denoise the image. I have done the denoise using the above formula, where the I is the pixel. In the ith pixel, beta, the scale density has been taken 0 to 1 scale, and the selected beta value is greater than 0, and the lambda is an variance. Finally, the binary image converted using the above formula, that BM of X equal to 0, 1 and 0 less than equal. It's basically a threshold. If anything above threshold is considered, below the threshold considered 0. So in this case, we took threshold as 20, and then we made this one. The K-mean clustering is used to identify in what is the movement has been happened between these two clusters. Okay, so the formula, it is basically taking each and every pixel and minus it with the other one, and then take it squared and average it, and then find a cluster. And basically you can have like, number of pixel 10 or 100 based on your value, and then find it out. And then distant movements in both direction has been taken. So with that H1, H2, we are able to identify which cluster, and then cluster X minimum and Y minimum, and what is the X width and Y height has been identified with the formula. And now we need to identify, just imagine that I have for an example, I have 728 in 488 pixel in RGB camera, but in the thermal camera, I have only 8x8 pixel. Now I need to map it. Any pixel in the thermal camera, how many pixel representing in the RGB camera, which can be identified GW by X by FW by TCBW. Once when we identify each and every pixel, for example, 1 pixel in the thermal is equivalent to 100 pixel, 100 cross 100 pixel in the RGB. Then the same can be applied to identify the minimum and the maximum boundary in adjusted. That is the formula, that X minimum of H2 of X minus TCW minus 1 into GW. The same is applicable for the Y direction also. In that case, you found X minimum, Y minimum, Y max, X max. This can be repeatedly done, like, keep on, we can do it in order to identify the exact full boundary, which is you can run 100 runs. Then you got a full boundary, which is the X mean and Y mean. And any index, for example, if I have X and Y pixel in a camera, then I can apply X by GW, Y by GH to identify where that pixel exactly available in the thermal camera. And with that, you can identify if any GA index is applicable. If it is applied more than 1, 2 or 3, means there is a 2 chicken available in the same cluster. That cannot be taken because as in the group. This is the very important problem to avoid. You need to be isolate even when they are in the group. So we need to, using this formula, we are able to isolate that. Okay, there is a 1 chicken in that grid, then we are picking up. If it is more than, then we are avoiding. That's why you can see that GN equal to 1 only we are picking it. If it is greater than 1 or 0, we are making it a negative. And through the image analysis, we know the thermal sensor, we have the value, and the average body temperature for the hen is 40.6 degrees centigrade to 41.7 degrees centigrade. If the thermal, like, I have one movement in that, I can able to identify what is the GA index. Through the GA index, I was able to identify what is the temperature. And just imagine if I found only 1 chicken in that temperature, and then I'm saying that, okay, it is not optimal range of 41.6 and 41.7, then we can take it that that is a sick. There is a problem with the chicken because the temperature down means it is dead almost. If it is if it is very above means it has a fever. So we need to identify that what is that. Then that's why, and and the same way, any movement between these two consecutive xt and yd, if it is divided by 3, like I'm taking the previous and current the next one, so t minus 1, t and t plus 1. So delta d is a distance. So if we have all three distances divided by 3, if it is it's moved into the delta meters, like for example in our case 3 meters. If they doesn't move, then there is a problem. If they move, okay, fine. So we are taking again, considering that both cases, whether the GT and GD, the temperature as well as distance, if both are okay, if they have any problem, then we are considering yes, it is a sick. Otherwise, we are saying no. So this is how the image analysis has been done. And this is the small pseudocode that we have done. We are calculating the image position. We are merging the images. We are calculating the movement and we are adding into the queue. And then we are trying to calculate the distance. If the distance is more than the average, then it is fine. Otherwise, we are saying it's a false. So the calculate the image position, we have done a grayscale image denoising and monochrome, calculating the position and either calculated or not flagged. So the outcome of this is you are able to identify sick or not, and where in that X or Y location the sick, means the chicken is there. All those three I can able to identify with the above one. So this is the one sample output of how this frequently the frame is there. So each and every second there is a one frame has been taken and it's a display. The next one is sound analysis. Now we are going to extract the audio and then we are going to analyze the sound. So in the sensor, we are getting the data and that data is sent to the Arduino, and that Arduino is pre-processing and send the data into the preprocessor where it does all the MFCC parameter extraction. It's sent to the prediction. The prediction trained model is predicted and sent back to the signal. That signal either you can directly take into the system where you are showed the blink of LED, or you want to find into the third-party system. Anything you want to do, you can do it. So this is the process. Reduce the noise in the capture audio, normalize the audio, use the MFCC coordinates to extract the audio features, KNN training, classify the signal is normal or sick, and finally test with the KNN classifier. When you really look into that audio signal, the time domain, okay, it will be basically amplitude, how louder it is. But when it comes to frequency domain, it will tell you how many number of times it occur in that domain. So the first black image you can see in the top, it is a time domain. The bottom images are frequency domain. Here the bottom for frequency domain display, I took a MEL frequency spectrum to display it. Basically, it is a discrete Fourier transform model. So the your left side, it is a normal hen audio and the right side is a sick hen audio. When it comes down, you can see there is a drastic difference in the MEL frequency spectrum when it comes to normal audio or sick hens. So for us to classify a sick or not, we have 3 levels of classification. Level 1 is environmental noise or normal. The level 2 is what is the environmental noise. For example, the guys are speaking, the car and bikes are riding, and any other things we are doing. That is environmental noise that we need to avoid. The second level is, just imagine you are entering into any chicken farm or poultry farm or something is coming. Suddenly all the chicken will start to make noises. That has to be avoided when it consider. So that is the second level of classification we are avoiding. The third level is we need to really identify based on the sound whether it is a sick or not. We have been taken the MFCC for all the 13 parameters to identify it, which has its own threshold level, and to identify the class 1, class 2, class 3. Okay, means 3 levels. And in order to do that, we are chunking the audio and then taking it to the audio quality is very important to identify it. So when we record that, we have recorded the wave PCM with the sample rate of 41,000 hertz with the mono and bit rate of bit depth of 32. The KNN will be has been trained with medium KNN with the 10 neighborhood and Euclidean distance weight is equal, standardized data equal to true. So this is a sample algorithm that we have done, means it's a pseudo algorithm that we have done in order to implement this in the reality. And the outcome of this, based on the microphone sound, we are able to identify it is normal or sick. Again, we have a lot of data, like all the data is JSON format. We recorded and then we analyze the data. As I told you earlier, we have audio data. That data has been identified and finally we have classified that whether it is a sick or not. So this is the JSON schema, and this is the outcome of the JSON schema after when it identifies sick or not. And now we already see like how to prepare the kit and then to collect the data, and what is the image analytic technique we have used in order to access whether it is a sick or not sick. And we found like a sound analysis like MFCC with KNN we applied to find the acquired results. Now we are going to see like MFCC, like why we choose MFCC as a feature extraction technique and algorithm selection. We are going to see why we took KNN as a feature, means a classification technique. So let us to check with the feature selection first. So we used MATLAB 2018 year with the 32 GB of RAM, 8 core processor, 1 TB hard disk SSD. Feature selection. So this is the MATLAB program we have done. It's a very lengthy program, so I just put it like a dot in order to tell you that okay, we have done for the get MFCC and the train KNN and displaying the figures, and then get training itself is a function, and training classifier is another function, and the final one, the feature selection. So in order to extract the feature from the audio, you have multiple parameters, that is MFCC parameters, other extractions, bias, crest factor, format, fundamental frequency. It has 20 parameters, and statistics extraction like skew, Kato, slope, bias, mean range, and standard deviation is another 8 parameters. We took all the parameters and test which one is better. Okay. The same way we took all the machine learning algorithm, SVN, KNN, tree, linear discriminant, logistic regression, quadratic discriminant, and ensemble to test what exactly will be that, which one will predict. So we have one side the list of all feature extraction technique, we have one side the list of all classification technique, and we applied the data. Then this is the final result. We got KNN with means medium KNN. It means the neighbor is 10. Okay, fine KNN its neighbor is 1, and the other KNN will be more than that. So with the medium KNN, 19.51 accuracy we got. At the same time with the MFC, like we got a 9.01 as a time. So this is very cleanly tell us that the MFC has a good in time to prediction as well as it is good in accuracy with the KNN medium. So we pick it out KNN with MFCC as a feature extraction techniques. This is the parameters, as I already told you, wave, sample rate 44 Hertz, mono, and 32. And we took almost 100,000 samples for sick and non-sick, and we have took another 100,000 sample to test it in order to bring it out. When you want to test the MFCC, extract the MFCC parameter, we need to chunk it, the data. So the chunk, I took 20 millisecond as a chunk, and then the time frame sheet, I took 11 millisecond time frame sheet. So it's a very tiny amount of time that we are keep on shifting to identify the result. The other parameters of TW20, TS11 that has been set, rest of the constant. I used the KNN because of the previous result clearly the KNN is good, and it's a non-parametric method to use for the classification. The KNN parameters are medium KNN and neighbor 10, Euclidean, equal, and true. And this is the sample diagram which is clearly saying how the MFCC1 and MFCC2 parameter irrespective of the classification of 0 and 1. Here you can see most of the things has been classified very accurately. And we took the MFCC parameter and their mean deviations and the mean values along with the normal hen with the sudden reaction, the environmental sick. You remember that we have 3 different levels of classification, all those classification. Now I'm going to tell you that how the MFCC parameter will be performed. This is the very simple diagram which will clearly tell you that how the histogram is behaving for the normal, and the below diagrams are frequency domain for the same and the frequency domain for the sound. So this is the classification environment, whether human speech or bike sound is there or chicken. So when it comes to any other environmental sound, you can clearly see the difference, the histogram where it is skewed. And this is the diagram which clearly explain you that MFCC for the normal parameter, how it deviate with the environmental, and it tells that MFCC parameter 2 can have a good amount of difference compared to all other parameters when it become a normal and environmental. The same way abnormal hen sound, like when anyone come inside, how suddenly they are making sound. In this case, it's very clean that histogram maybe looks like similar, but FFT diagram seems to be very obvious to find the difference. And again, there is a difference. You can see the MFCC parameter 1 has a good amount of difference for identifying the normal audio. The same way, whether it is a SIC or not, and here we can clearly identify the SIC classification will be very minute in sound. So the FFT diagram clearly displays and the frequency diagram for a sound in the right bottom. And the MFCC parameter 2 has a very good mean difference between the normal and this one. So we can take that as enough parameter to identify it. So now we already see how the feature selection happened and algorithm selection happened. The next one is we are moving into the hyperparameter optimization, how we are going to optimize the parameters. So there are sound extraction technique we have already seen this here, entropy and MFCC. We pick up MFCC, and for the KNN parameters we have distance metric like city block, Chuk, correlation, cosine, Euclidean, Hamming, Jacquard, and so on. The distance weighing has 3 parameters: equal, inverse, and squared inverse. We have a number of neighbors set to 1, 10, 20 till 100, and we ran through the multiple process to identify which one is a better performing. So when we ran that, this is the 3-dimensional data against the neighbors and the distance, and we found that the neighbor, when it comes 10 with the distance of Euclidean, we got a better prediction. It clearly showed that the time is very less, the prediction time is very less, so that we can take it as a granted that okay, the lower CPU will be used in this case. And the another one is accuracy. Like, you know, we need to find the accuracy. Accuracy has to be maximized. Again, here it is very clean that with the neighbor of 10 and then Euclidean, the accuracy is improved. So this is very clearly telling us that how the Euclidean and the neighbors is affecting that. So finally, we are running the same through with the squared inverse and equal, and with the neighbor as 10, the equal has less, like, you know, good accuracy with a less time. Okay, so it's 0.01 second. It's basically a 61 millisecond, but rest all is 100 milliseconds. So ideally we took equal. So it is very clear that with the Euclidean and the equal weighing with the 10 neighborhood, the KNN medium has a good result. And this is the outcome. We can see that the plotted diagram of against accuracy and time, the accuracy is 0.95 with the time of 0.0618. Now we are taking the MFCC parameter, the window, the frame duration and frame shoot, to identify how it really performs. When it has, the diagram clearly shows that when it has TW20 and TS11, it has very good accuracy. It is higher. And the same way, when it has TW and TS11, it has very low prediction time. Okay, so this is the ideal. The prediction time is 0.62 and the accuracy is 0.95 with the sliding window of 11. And this is the diagram which is clearly saying that we have a very good prediction into 95%, 95.8% with 0.062 as a time. And this is the confusion matrix, which clearly states that the accuracy become 95.2%, precision is 95, and recall is 95.8. So precision is nothing but the correctly predicted positive observation by the total prediction happened, and the recall is correctly predicted positive observation by all the prediction actually the class. Yes. The same way accuracy is how accurately we have predicted amongst the total one. Basically the confusion matrix is all about the true positive and true negative and positive false negative. Okay, this will clearly tell you that how you really your algorithm performed against the data. And one of our base paper is extreme. They used the extreme learning machine to predict sound. Okay, for the SIC, we compared with them, and for them their precision and recall is 65 and 69. But for us, the precision is 95.1 and the recall is 95.8. And they already used only ELM and SVC to test it. But here I have clearly proven that we have tested with a lot more than that, with KNN and then SVM, and we have a dysentery. All those things has been applied and tested to find it out. This is the conclusion. The SIC poultry classification using audio is possible. Avoid spread of diseases can be done using the monitoring, and it can be used, and the SIC detection can be done using movement pattern. Minimum CPU can be utilized. Higher accuracy is already showed, and the optimal parameter of KNN is done. And we want this to be extended into all other industries. So we have I'm just proposing like the methods or the list of all tasks that anyone who want to do the same in other industry or the same industry to do it, what they need to follow is first they need to analyze the poultry characteristics, and then audio implementations, Arduino implementation study has to be done, study of sound extraction techniques and image analysis technique has to be done, collecting the samples, extracting the features, implementing and rollout, and validating and monitoring. So if we able to, if anyone able to follow this, you can apply the same one which I have done for one industry into other industry like cattle farm or duck farms, whatever we like. When I do start the research, I couldn't find any database available which is freely for this amount of large data to train. So I created an open database which is already hosted. All my data is already pushed there, like github.com/arun-r06/poultry data. And there are a lot of large volume of data which even cannot be supported by these kind of open source databases, which is already there. Anyone who is really willing to extend this, you can send a mail to me, arun.r06@gmail.com. I am happy to share my data. And what are the different future works that we can done on this? A study on early detection of the sick. For example, now we know that, okay, it can be identified early, but how far early that, okay, within 1 hour are we able to do, within 2 hours, within 5 hours or 1 day, like those kind of study can be done. And based on the age of the poultry, we can identify the diseases correlation with the sound that can be done. And based on the rails and sneezes, you can particularly tell that what sort of disease it is, and then the system can propose now which feed they need to provide, okay, what kind of feed they need to provide, so to make it out. Later you can automate the process of feeding also with using robotics, that can be done. So those area also still can be done, and through vision system like swelling face, discharge of eyes can be monitored and identified. And these are all my publications. The internet propelling world, a smarter world, smart connected IoT applications for maximizing agriculture business performance, Scopus Index journal, a comprehensive study on big data analysis tools, techniques, technologies, and applications, Scopus Index journal, and framework, an application framework for IoT enabled smart agriculture waste recycling system, IEEE conference, IoT based real-time poultry monitoring and health status identification, IEEE conference, real-time poultry health identification using IoT test setup optimization results, Scopus Index Springer journal, a study of poultry real-time monitoring and algorithm techniques. It's in one of the journals. And this is the evidence that my publication and screenshots. Scopus Index and comprehensive study again Scopus Index, and this paper IEEE and IoT based real time IEEE paper, and this is again one of the Scopus Index paper, poultry technique, again it's one of the Taylor journal. And I have so far like 83 references is presented here, and thank you.
Well done, Mr. Arun Nyanaraj. Now the forum is open for the participants to give your queries. You can ask your queries, you can give your suggestions too.
Arun, I have a few questions.
Yes, please.
Shall I?
Yeah, yes, please.
Yeah. So the question is, here, since you have taken the machine learning, so everything is happening through machine learning, I guess. Okay. So everything is based on the data which you are collecting using the audio, image, and the sensors. Okay. So when you are collecting all the images and all the data, you are training the machine learning, right? So when you are training it, so if you take the chicken farm, there will be the seasonality for the disease. Okay. So how many days you spend for the collecting the data? And I in the slide I saw that you have spent 30 days in the farm. Okay. So 30 days is enough to collect all the information, or how the feed was given to the machine learning, whether the audio, because the behavior will be different when you are hearing the audio when the diseases are changed.
Exactly.
Including images also will be changed.
Yep. Okay.
So have you taken the data and have you trained the machine?
Thanks, Mr. Prakash, and it's a very good question. First of all, we need to understand the life cycle of a chicken. Any life cycle of a chicken is 40 days, okay? Because when it comes, they will kill it after 40 days. So number one. So within that period, you can analyze that whether it is a sick or not. That you can able to achieve it, because after 40 days, it is not going to be. When it comes seasonal, it is only diseases are changing, but the symptoms of disease are still remain same. For example, shaking head, or discharging, or the rails and gasping. It's all common symptoms. Like for example, if you have taken example of as a human, that you have any problem, you have fever, you have vomiting sense, you have this thing. This is a common symptoms. So when you are analyzing your chicken within a period, okay, you can predict it in a way that it has a sick or not. As you clearly mentioned that here, we never told that we are able to identify this is the disease. We are able to predict it. Yes, there is a disease. The prediction of disease is related to the seasonal. That will be in the future work. So ideally, our proposed work is clearly telling that with the sound and image analysis, I am able to analyze, I am able to predict that there is a sick. Because anytime across the seasonal, if they have a sick, they cannot able to move. Number one, their temperature will rise or down. Number two, and the other way, like they sound, they will have a rasping issue, they will have a gasping, they have a rails, all those things will be there. This is common symptoms. So we rely on the symptoms respective of diseases, so we are able to identify it. Got it?
Yeah, thanks, Arun.
Yeah,
Thanks for the clarification.
thanks a lot.
Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
I am Charles from St. Joseph's College, Tiruchirappalli. I think we all witnessed the great presentation. You could see the enthusiasm on his presentation. That speaks about the confidence on his work. So the work he's carried out is extremely good, and the presentation is very well. So really, I appreciate on all the participants because I appreciate Mr. Arun to be a doctor, which automatically reveals the fact how this guide is activated him to do this such a task. So really a very good job, and it can be go still further. I have a few observations from your presentation. Why the color image you are transforming to binary image? If you process the color image, that will give more input or more information which could really help for identification. This is one aspect. Second aspect, you used K cluster classification in the first contribution. What is the optimal number for K? Is it depends on the size of the farm, poultry farm, or not? This is true. And the third point, what I want to say this is, if you augment or support some kind of standard materials procedures for your topic, you can go for patent right, or you can go for marketing your products. Such a wonderful work. I really appreciate, and other things. Another aspect, how frequently you are doing the processing, because it is a continuous measurement. How frequently you are processing the work. If you answer these questions and augment some supporting standardizing procedure for your work, you can directly go for marketing your product. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, sir. I can give you some clarity on the questions here. Okay. A binary classification for the image and differences. Yes, exactly as you said, it will be reveal a lot more data, because as you said, we are dimensionally reducing the data when it comes to binary classification. At the same time, when we have been working with our objective of what we are going to do is to identify the movement of these two. Okay, so I don't have any other than to be identified from the data, and we were considering that. Just imagine in the local form how big their processor, okay, because they have a small laptop, small system. So if we are able to dimensionally reduce the data before processing whatever is possible, so they can identify easily. Okay, that's the one objective. But just imagine as a contrast, later when we really, as you mentioned, that we need to go for the pattern and real life, that is our real intention. That's why, like, we have been putting all effort to identify, not only simply take one algorithm and check, okay, ENN, let me to try this one and then simply improve. We took all the effort to go to the field, collect, creating our own prototyping model to implement everything. Yes, when we go to industry, just imagine that if we need to acquire more dimensions from the existing image, if we really need color image, surely yes, I do agree that we will go with that. And the pattern, yes sir, we are trying to do a pattern for this. We are just talking to that because it's a lengthy process also, and top of that, revealing that before at some time may cause an issue. So I'm just waiting for this moment to again go to the people to talk and then tell, okay, it is my pattern, otherwise somebody may again overtake, and then there is a lot of pattern copying also is happening now in the industry. So I'm a bit cautious, because let me to first present my thesis, then maybe I can proceed with the industry. And as you clearly mentioned that, how frequently this has been processed, yes sir, actually the image data has been coming to us, and then the image processing can be done every minute, okay, to identify that, not every minute, every second, and then that will be summarized into every minute to proceed to the next step. The JSON file which we are creating, we are taking every second data, and then we are summarizing it the distance factor, then we are creating one JSON file which contains the final result. That is for the frequency of the video. When it comes to audio, we are taking only one audio, okay, and then per minute, because usually once when the chicken started to change their behavior, okay, it will be like over the period. It is not, it will come now, after that it will not come. Like, once when it started to come, it will be there for a longer period. We can say the affected chickens are keep on having a gasping issue. They are railing, they are like that, they keep on doing it. So we know that it is not required to very keenly process. You can take a one sample per minute and then try, it will still reveal. That is also per minute process. I hope I answered whatever that I can, sir.
Yes, Mr. Arun, you well captured my observation, well answered. Very good, Mr. Arun. Go ahead.
Thank you, sir. Thanks a lot, sir.
Any other questions from the participants?
Arun, this is Professor Abera from St. Joseph's College. So first of all, let
Yes,
me
sir.
appreciate a nice presentation and a very good research work you have done. And also that means I
Thank you, sir.
appreciate the guide. So both of your contributions are very good. I have a little clarifications. That means, is it possible to design your model as a prototype model with the cost-effective one, so that to apply this model, this research into a real type model for implementing all the that means chicken farms, which will be helpful for the farmers. Is it possible?
Yes, sir. The real objective is to go with the farmers, because when we select the title itself, we have been considering the society. Okay, we need to do something to the farmers. So we have been came across multiple industries, and then we find it out the one which supposed to be good for us as well as the farmers. As you clearly mentioned that, yes, we are ready to go. We are ready. We are working actually parallelly with implementing this. The cost effectiveness, yes. When I was talking about my Arduino, I clearly mentioned that we already prepared the PCB board diagram, okay, which can be printed as a circuit, and either you can use your local laptop or a machine which they have, or we can prepare a small Raspberry Pi kit which can do the image processing. That's why we have done a lot of study on the parameter side in order to minimize the time to work on it. So this the same can be applied, because it's algorithm. This can be implemented into Python, which can be adaptable by Raspberry Kit, which you can push into that. So either you can directly connect the sensor to Raspberry Pi, or maybe if you want to keep a cluster of system, because just imagine in a poultry, it is not a one simple device, because it's a large area, cannot cover all the areas. So you may have a cluster of devices, then all the cluster devices can be connected to the Raspberry Pi, the base kit, and then it can become with that kit, everything will be done. Once when that Raspberry Kit prototype, everything is done, then you can again make a chipset out of it, and you can get it printed down anywhere. Even India also nowadays, a lot of companies are Eagle, everyone is printing. We can print it out, get it done, and it can directly go to the market, sir.
Very good. So this is the cluster of, that means connecting devices is better option. So
Yes,
you
sir,
can
yes, sir.
try for it and implement it. So all the best.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Thank you.
Thanks a lot, sir. Thanks a lot.
Arun, Brito from St. Joseph's College. I take this opportunity to appreciate both the research supervisor and you And according to me, one clarification is, how do you handle missing or corrupted data in a data set? How you are
Okay,
handling
sir.
missing or
Yeah,
corrupted
yeah.
data?
Okay, sir. See, first of all, any data when it missing, for example, just imagine the sensor is malfunctioning. Okay, the Arduino will not receive the data first, so there will not be file. And the number two level is when any data is corrupted in the file, the standard audio readers or the standard image readers cannot read the file at all. If anything corrupted from the beginning, so ideally, when it comes to your level of the machine learning, where you want to implement it, if the data is corrupted, the reader itself will avoid it to throw it away. So if the sensor is not available, you will not get the data. Even if the sensor is available, but you have a lot of corrupted data which is writing in place, that cannot be read by the your functions. So ideally both will be error, means errored out in that phase itself, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. All the best.
Thank you a lot, sir. Thanks a lot.
Mr. Arun,
Yes, sir.
the interesting one, and you applied new technology for a very old industry. I have a small question.
Yes, sir.
This you told the life cycle is 40 days. Life cycle of
Yes, sir.
poultry is 40
Yeah.
days.
Yeah.
Which is the most vulnerable period? Are you going to monitor whole 40 days or some part of the life cycle? Which is that part? Most vulnerable part?
Actually, sir, when it comes after 20 days, okay, of timing, which is almost a kind of a matured adult, because there only they are started to feed a lot. You know, there is a lot of feed they are putting and trying to avoid it to not a big movement, and they are trying to feed a lot of antibacterial material and growth material into there with their water, everything. That is after that everything start to be booming up. The in reality speaking, their internal organs are started to damage after that. 25-30 days when it comes, they are unable to move after 35 to days. So they knows that after a week of 10 days, just imagine if they are leaving 40 days after that, 1 week or 2 weeks, 3 weeks, the chicken itself will die. Okay, so they are taking before that and sending into the slaughtering farm where they are slaughtering, and then they are cleaning it and send packaging. Okay, so it is not about us whether which one ticket. Actually, it's in reality it is after 20 days you can see started their issues, everything comes in place. Okay, so it's up to us how they are managing it. If they want to extend it for the whole period, because for us it's a sick. That's it. Either it is in the child age or the longer age. Okay, it's a sick. So that we can classify with this. That's sure. If they want to implement in a different scenario, maybe different chicken variety is there, different environment is there, they can still use the same classification technique to identify it, train it, and then use it.
Very good.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you.
Arun, one more question or clarification we can give. See, this is a wonderful project, and which is going to make the farming industry in second level, means another first level, you can tell. Okay, so this is mostly the project is covered for the farms which are already there, and it's kind of big farm. In the big farm, this can be implemented. So because you might have checked all the things like how we can optimize the cost and everything. Okay, even though if for the farmers, lower level farmers, okay, startup farmers or the guys who are working, most of the IT guys are what they are thinking, they want to start the farming and they have to do it, okay, without any experience. Or the farmers which are there doing currently, lower level farmers, they are not they cannot able to afford this. So what is a thought you
Yeah.
have for this, and how we are going to identify this, and any idea about that?
Yeah, I got your point. As I clearly mentioned that the first point of our idea is to help the small farmers, not the large scale industries. Okay. The thing is, the kit of Arduino or Raspberry, it is not more than 1,000 or 2,000 INR, Indian money. And including all the sensor, it will not go more than 5,000 INR. Okay, it's a one-time investment. As far as I am using the kit right now with me, I'm using for more than 2.5 years. I can say almost 3 years now. Okay, where I never find any of my devices got faulty. Okay, just imagine including all the cost when it comes, it will not go more than 5,000 INR. I'm 100% sure. Even it should be lesser than that. I'm giving you the prototype kit tool. See, ideally, when it comes to prototype, is really a costlier one, and when it goes the real production, it will be even far away cheaper than maybe like 50 or 20% of the cost of your prototyping kit. My prototyping kit itself, it is not more than 5,000. So ideally, when it comes real production, it will be like very cheaper, and the entire idea is to help the farmers, so it can be implemented very small scale farmers.
See, this is for the, you're talking about the kids. What about other thing like machine learning, data
No, machine
processing?
learning and all is implemented a software inside the kit, so it is there already. That's it. It is my cost. Like for example, I am writing the code, I am giving, okay, take it, done. That's it. So there is nothing big into take care of that one. It is a simply code only.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Arun.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. My pleasure.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Arun, one more question.
Yes, sir.
What is the number of devices you require? Is there any ratio for a poultry farm of this size? So many IoTs are required, or sensors are required. Is there anything?
No, sensor advice, like, it's again, sir, how big their farm is. Okay, ideally we can able to cover it up, 4x4 meters squared with a single device. Okay, where you can employ it and then you keep it the same way that how many square meters they have, they need to employ it. Okay, this is the simple observation that we had when we have our prototyping kit. So when we really go for production, there is a lot of wide angle, cameras, wide angle thermal cameras is available, where we can do a more R&D on the device side, because when it comes, research, I cannot look much into the device side because that is a production. So when we really go into the production, we need to identify a large array of the production sensors which is available, which is low in cost, and it has a higher, wider angle than the current one which I have the prototyping. Surely it will be easy to adapt and then go ahead with that.
This data processing is done locally or remotely?
Locally, sir, because when it goes the reality, the farmers cannot afford to be always in the online.
So you
If they
don't
have,
require any
I don't
connectivity.
nothing required, nothing. Only the local LAN we need in order to connect the sensors and with the base station. That's it.
So it is a very cost effective thing you have done.
Exactly. That's the idea.
Very good, very good.
Thank you, sir.
Hi, Arun. This is Clement.
Yes. Hi, Clement.
Actually, you have talked behave for the country chicken, which is growing like 6 months or 1 year. How the machine has been training, the machine learning, other things has been training for the different life cycle of the chicken, because we having a different chickens, and we having a fighting kind of chickens in there.
Yeah.
How the machine learning other things will process on there, how you differentiating the
Exactly.
based on voice analysis, because
Exactly,
it's
Clement.
let me complete because the voice is completely different from the broiler and
Yes, Clement. See
fighting chicken.
that's why, like, as we clearly mentioned that we propose a framework where there is a process. Okay, either this or chicken, you have a different variety of chicken, or you have a completely different species like ducks, or you have a completely different one. This you can scale across the different industries, because we have studied and even we have visited the same farm. You can see that we have broiler as well as the normal country chicken also there. We have been seeing the voice, the sick one and the normal one. Even with that also, there is no problem, because ideally when it comes normally how they are making noise, when they are sick, how they are sneezing, the sneeze sound is completely different from their base voice, right? The usual voices. The same way when they are gasping, the sound is completely different from their whatever may be the chicken, varies their normal, and their other sound is always deviated when you really look into that the feature extraction point of view. So with that considered, it will be always possible any span across and it can be implemented.
Yes, I got almost your answer. Thanks
Yeah.
for the clarification.
Thank you.
Thanks. Congrats.
Thank you.
Okay, if there are no further questions, I am happy to post my questions also as an examiner here.
Yes,
I
ma'am.
have only 3 questions because most of the questions are already given by all the participants. Wonderful questions, and the way you have handled the questions with your answers are also excellent. So with that, I just give my questions. Through your research work, you have been saying, or you said, KNN classifier really has outperformed all the other classifiers like SVM or ensemble
Yes.
model. So can you just say why this KNN has outperformed? So what is that better thing in KNN, and how SVM or other models can adapt to this? That is the first question.
There is
Second,
nothing like, it cannot be adaptable, ma'am, because I clearly mentioned that in the diagram. When you can see that, okay, all the things are close enough to match each other, okay, because the base data which you have, which is already have a distinct value in it. When you look at the feature, I have been shown that there is a mean difference of M1 and all the 13 parameters across all 3 layers of mine, okay, which almost close each other. But when I select, I am selecting the better prediction, which is like slightly 0.1% or 0.2% higher than that, and I am looking for the better timeline where the others are 100 milliseconds and this one become like 0.9. I hope 906, something like that. Okay, that's the thing. That's the 2 parameter which we took it. Probably I hope because of the internal algorithm decision means which they are taking based on the k-mean clustering internally, that could be possibly better predicted in the, I hope, in KNN.
okay. All right. So maybe the researchers who are here can try throwing little more light on that, can investigate on it. It can be a future
Yeah, sure,
research.
ma'am. Yeah, sure.
And yeah. So the next question is like, I'm just going into the technical part. You have used one flag which is like video frame dot is already calculated. So that one is kept set like you are keeping it true, like it is already calculated, right? I hope you're getting it. It is there in the 4th chapter. There is one particular flag you have set it like is already calculated.
1 minute.
And it is
Let me
set
do,
to true.
let me do open it 1 minute so that
All
it be
right.
easy.
Yeah.
It's in
It
the
is in the
algorithm
4th
side, right?
chapter. Yeah, it is in the 4th chapter. There's nothing you
This
don't need to
is
open.
okay.
My question over here is you're setting it to true. Okay, but what is the timing for how long you're keeping this as true? That is my first question. And when does it, become reset?
In imaging, right?
Yes, yes. In
In
the video
imaging, when we
framing.
are in imaging, when we are climbing this, you're talking about the is calculated equal to 2, right?
Correct. Is already
Okay.
calculated. Yes.
Yeah. See, this is simply a state flag, okay, which is taking, because just imagine considering the very first image, okay, very first image, when it comes, you don't have any data there, okay. So we need to tell that video frame already calculated, so that second time when we want to send it to the frame, okay, for the distance calculation, that value no need to calculate again. So in order to ensure that the already calculated value no need to be calculated again, for the optimization of the image calculation, we are setting that flag is to true, so that the same frame comes again, it will not be calculated.
Okay. So how does it become reset to false or?
Because that frame already gone. See, once when the frame has been processed for a couple of times, like 3 consecutive frames, then that will go to in the network. The new frame will come into the picture. So other one will become void by default, because that frame itself will be removed from the memory. So that object itself will not be there in the memory. So ideally, I no need to set it again false, because it will be voided. It will be garbage collected from the memory itself.
All right. And one more question is like, you have talked about the sound of the hen and, you are trying to get the sneezing and all the other things. And there were questions on country chicken and other things. How the individual chickens sound is taken care of? Because in the farm, you might be having n number of chickens close
Yes,
by
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
each other.
See,
So how it is taken
exactly.
care of?
Yeah, see, that is the idea behind it, because when you take any chicken isolated mode, okay, the voice which you are capturing is very clear, but when you are taking into a group mode, which is different. So ideally we want to jump into that situation to identify, because when I really employ a chicken, okay, and it will be captured in the same noise only. So we have been captured with the same noise and then try to identify that whether the machine able to identify the feature has, which we extracted the feature, the MFCC is has a different value than that, from the normal one. Ideally, that is our core research that we have done with the same noise itself, which gave a result. That is what we presented here. That's where the other zones are always isolating chicken. Instead, why we have gone this, there is a very reason behind it. Because in reality, when you are going to apply, we need to identify in the noise. At the same time, there might be other level of, other new patterns may arrive. That also has to be considered. So because of those two reasons, when we want to really go for live, we took it in the same situation. We didn't isolate anything. We recorded in the same noise. We tried to extract the features in the same noises. We just looked into all the features in it, and then we trained it, and we got it worked with our layer of approaches.
Okay, fine. All right.
Thank you, ma'am.
So those are my questions, and there were many other questions, and so I'm not giving the questions which I have already given in the report. Ma'am, shall we conclude?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine. So we will start concluding this particular Viva was the examination. The research work done by Mr. Arun Jnanaraj is being presented really well over here. We all have witnessed, and many have started appreciating through messages, through, they were, while asking the questions also, they have asked. Overall, the research work is done well, and it has interesting results and suggestions for improving the performance of healthy poultry management. The research work is performed very systematically under the guidance of MAM and could achieve its results diligently. The future research ideas are excellent, and using vision system to check the swelling of the face and all is really given a good, start for the researchers if they are here. And hearty congratulations to the research scholar and the guide for doing such research work. This is really beneficial for the society in terms of business and in terms of healthy non-vegetarian consumption as well. So we will conclude the research work done by Mr. Arun Jnanaraj satisfies the requirements of systematic investigation, and the scholar has followed all the regulations of Bharathiar University in presenting his research work using effective thesis writing and publications. So the doctoral, okay, on behalf of all the examiners, doctoral committee members, research guide and participants, and also with the permission from the university nominee Dr. Chandra, I recommend the university authorities to provisionally award the degree of doctoral degree to Mr. Arun Jnanaraj. And I am honored to officially declare that Mr. Arun Jnanaraj henceforth will be known as Dr. Arun Jnanaraj. Hearty congratulations to Dr. Arun Jnanaraj on achieving your degree.
Thanks a lot, ma'am.
Our best wishes to your future research endeavors.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
I thank the research. Yes, ma'am. I thank the university officials for giving me such an opportunity to evaluate this wonderful research work. I really learned a lot through the way he presented the research work as well as the research models which are presented there. My appreciation to Dr. Jnana Jayanti ma'am for your effective guidance on this particular successful research work. Thank you. Good evening to all, and I remain.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much. I personally thank Dr. P. Beulah Soundarabhoy, Associate Professor of the Department of Computer Science, Christ University, Bangalore, for her kind participation and encouragements, and also for her exemplary conduct of organizing this public Viva Voce examination. Thank you, ma'am. I thank all the professors and research scholars who are present in this PhD public Viva Voce as an effective and lively one. Thank you all. And now, now A. Arun Jnanaraj now becomes Dr. A. Arun Jnanaraj, and I invite Dr. A. Arun Jnanaraj to propose his vote of thanks.
Thanks a lot, ma'am. It's my pleasure. This work would not been done possible without active help of many well-wishers who chipped me in various stages to ensure that the success in this endeavor. I deeply grateful to three angels of my life: my mother, my wife, and my guide. Without them, I can't do anything in this. I dedicated this work to my parents. My mother is the one who motivated me to do the PhD. Without her motivation, I won't be able to do the research this level. I wish to express my deep and sincere gratitude towards Dr. J. Jnana Jayanti, research advisor, for her encouragement and support throughout the research. It would have never been possible for me to complete this thesis without her invaluable suggestions and innovative ideas. My sincere thanks to Dr. E. Chandra, Professor and Head of the Department of Computer Science, Bharatiyar University, Coimbatore, and Dr. P. Beulah Sundarbai, Associate Professor, Department of Computer Science, Christian University, Bangalore, Karnataka, for their support. I acknowledge with gratitude Dr. S. Albert Rabera, St. Joseph, Professor, St. Joseph College, Autonomous Trichy, for his kind counseling throughout the journey. My sincere thanks to the faculty of the Department of Computer Science, DC panel members, Bharatiyar University, Coimbatore, for their suggestions during this research work. I am deeply grateful to Miss Merlin Rajasekhar, my sister-in-law, who helped me a lot during this journey. I acknowledge the help I have received from Mr. Lauren, Project Manager, Dubai, and Mr. Leo, Food Processing Engineer, Coimbatore. My sincere thanks to Dr. Brito, Professor, St. Joseph College, Trichy, and Dr. Vimal Gerald, Professor, St. Joseph College, Trichy, for providing a good support and courage help. I devote my thanks to Miss Mani, Lecturer Trichy, for providing support and inspired me to finish the thesis on time. My sincere thanks goes to Mr. Swami, Business Process Engineer, Dubai, for his kind suggestion in organizing the thesis. I also thank my friends, colleagues, and research scholars, participants who are here with us, with me today. Without yours, you are the source of my encouragement. Last but not least, my heartful thanks to my dear wife, the source of all my energy, Miss Amalorpo Mary, for her kind support for the entire work. Without her support, I won't be able to do anything. Thanks a lot for the opportunity. Thank you.